everyone. I'm so happy to welcome Kathleen Joan here today, and we're going to have a conversation. You're going to be so wowed by her. We're going to tell you all the amazing, cool things she's doing at the end of the conversation. So, hey, Kathleen, how are you?
I'm great, Katie. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited. Well, so Kathleen, you're a priestess of Brigid, and I'm automatically intrigued. Tell us more. What does that mean?
Yeah. So essentially, in for me, what that means, I'm a former Catholic school religion teacher who found the goddess. And Brigid has been the divine feminine figure, both goddess and saint, who has kind of held that like transition space for me and who continues to hold, I think, what I call threshold space for women specifically who are coming from Christian backgrounds who want to find out about the divine feminine, who want to get to know more about the sacred she, right, as she lives in them. So that has been my calling, right, is to like help women discover that she really does live in you, right? And that sounds like such a simple statement, but when we are raised with all entirely masculine images of the divine, as most Christian people are, right? It becomes this often subconscious thing, right? Where it's like, oh, the divine is out there because he looks like an old white bearded man up in a cloud, right? And there's a way in which that doesn't fully like that's not me, that's not who I am. And so there's a way in which for women, as well as for anyone who is not white, old, male, and powerful, right? We need to do some reclaiming of our images of the divine to start to be able to see, I'll use the female gender, right? To start to be able to see her in ourselves, and really reclaim our own sacred value and our own sacred worth that way. So I mean, I can talk more about how Brigid kind of relates to that, but that's essentially like what I have found the goddess calling me to, right? Is to help people with that.
That's so amazing. And anyone who's hung around any of my stuff for a while knows my like special love I have for Bridget and my
Hmm.
encounters with her. But if you don't, if you're brand new to this, welcome. Bridget may be calling you too. But even
Hmm.
more than that, the divine feminine,
Yeah.
you're not only represented through Bridget, but in other ways
Hmm.
too.
Hmm.
And I see the beautiful Mary behind you
Yeah.
as
Miss
well.
Guadalupe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so that's really wonderful. Well, so this is so neat. And so what does it mean to be a priestess then?
That's such a great question. To me, because again, like this is, former Catholic school teacher, right? Like I was not, I did the same, essentially an MDiv, like the lay person's version of a Master's of Divinity. Same degree, I was there in seminary with the men who were going to be ordained as priests, but of course, Catholic Church doesn't ordain women, right?
Right.
So it's been this process of like kind of discovering, like honestly, for me, for myself, like what does it mean to be a priestess? Because that the priestess is or especially and a priestess of the goddess because when I was growing up Catholic, right, there was no such thing as a priestess or a goddess.
Right.
So like it is really something that that I've been and I know that many women, right? So like so many women are kind of exploring this path and reclaiming like what does it mean to be a priestess? Um and for me it's actually really simple. It's the fact that I hold sacred space for you to encounter the she who is the sacred divine, right? And particularly I work with the divine feminine. So it's honestly that simple. And I think a lot of us are priestesses or priestesses or priests of any gender, right? More than we know because we are helping others to we're helping hold space for others to kind of return to that sacred connection, whatever that looks like. But I like particularly the ways that I do that are through women's circles, which I host online, as well as energy healing and spiritual accompaniment one to one with people.
And you host the really wonderful summit
Yes.
that I've had the joy to participate in for 2 years, and resurrecting the goddess.
Uh-huh.
Like, what
Yeah,
a
that's been
provocative
awesome.
name. Yeah.
I know. Thank you, Katie. And it's been so great to have you as part of that summit as well. Yeah. And I co-host that event every year with my dear priestess sister and colleague Erin Duffy Burke. We went to Catholic theology school together, and then we both found the goddess, right? And have ended up doing this goddess priestessing work. So yeah, that summit has just been this become this really beautiful like gathering of people who are all wanting to reclaim this the sacred feminine, right? The sacredness of the feminine, and also naming the sacred as feminine, from within Christian backgrounds or from coming from that, right? Whether or not you currently identify as Christian. So yeah, that's just been this really beautiful, like there are so many people out there interested in this.
Yeah.
Like more
Everyone
than
thinks
I
they're
knew and more than
alone.
Aaron knew, right?
Yeah, and everyone feels alone in it
Yes.
until they find a community and
Mm-hmm.
find
Mm-hmm.
sisters and sometimes
Yeah.
brothers and sometimes non-binary siblings
Right.
to hold
Right.
space with them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's been one of the real gifts of that summit is just kind of, and I, for people who attend as well as like literally for Aaron and myself, like for years we were just like calling each other going like, is this still a thing? Are you still on this path? Like you're the only other person I know, right? And we started inviting others in and like yourself, Katie, and like so many other amazing people who are doing this work at, around the sacred feminine and Christianity. And then the numbers of people who are interested, like, wow, yeah, we're truly not alone.
Yeah, we're not, and she's there,
Mm-hmm.
right, for all of that, making these connections. And I know at one point I did the math. I don't remember what it is now, but I think you were where you did your MDiv work. I is in the same general area where I was doing my PhD work,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if we ever I don't know that we ever overlapped there. So it's
Yeah,
funny, that we meet in
2009
cyberspace. Yeah.
to 12 was when I was
Yeah, I was in Berkeley
at the
then, but I
GCU.
was
Oh,
I
that's
was
funny.
I was I was deeply tunnel vision, at the time trying to
You were in the library.
I was in the library in my
Yeah.
little apartment trying to get stuff done at the time.
Yeah.
But the question about priestess, I think, it's interesting for me because I'm an ordained minister, but
Hmm.
no Protestant ordained minister is ever called priestess that I know of. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
really, really rare, right? That'd be very,
Right.
very kind of out there.
Hmm.
But pastor, minister,
Yes.
maybe, I mean, maybe Episcopals are called priests, but of course, I don't think any. I
Yes.
think it's pretty rare that they're called mother or something or another,
Hmm. Hmm.
unlike the priests, which are often called father or something or
Yes.
another. Right. So even though the ordination of women does happen in some spaces within Christianity, there's still a ungendering
Hmm.
that can kind of
Hmm.
happen there, right?
Yeah.
And so I've thought about it for me as well. Like, how is a priestess different from, like, let's say, pastor? And I don't know if this is right. I don't know that there is
Hmm.
a right or not, but kind of one of the areas where I've thought about it is like priestesses are also very attentive to ritual.
Hmm.
And that, like when you said creating sacred space, usually not always, but usually the way that's done is through ritual.
Hmm.
And it's not that we don't have that in church settings, but
Yeah.
for most Protestants, that's kind of lower on the importance.
Hmm. Hmm. Right.
Underneath preaching, underneath
Yes.
the Bible, underneath this other thing, and it's very
Hmm.
malleable. And rituals should be a little adjustable, right? But
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
don't know if
Right.
that resonates with you as part of priestess work or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate this conversation because I do think there's a particularly like I'm noticing how I'm still approaching it from my Catholic lens,
Sure.
right? Where like church is ritual. Like that is that was what I experienced growing up. Catholic is like there is a ritual. Like that the entire, service that you go to, the mass, is one big ritual, right?
Right.
And that is the role of the priest. And so for me, it has been this really specific reclaiming of the feminine, right? Like by using priestess, I'm saying that, yeah, first of all, like me as a woman embodying this role, right, of like holding the sacred space, holding the ritual, that's a thing, first of all, that can happen,
Yeah.
right? The feminine and the sacred don't have to be separated, right? Like, I mean, literally, like until a certain, I think it was until Vatican II, at least in the US, like women were not even allowed to enter the sanctuary in the
Right.
church, right? So there was this total a separation between, or effort to separate in our minds, because it's never a real
Right.
separation, the feminine and the sacred. So I think there's both a claiming that like as women we can embody the sacred, we can hold space for others to encounter the sacred, and I think there's sort of a like a transmission of like we're working with specifically sacred feminine energies as priestesses, and at least that's what like one thing that I associate with like my women's circles are based around the cycles of the moon, right? So we meet on the new moon and the full moon, and we kind of are the energy of our ritual is different at the new moon and the full moon, and we're tapping into some of those cycles, right? And yeah, I just think of kind of the cycles and the seasons of nature, the cycles of women's lives, cycles of the feminine, right, as being something that a priestess specifically brings through. I don't know if that resonates for you.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And we're recording this the day after the really beautiful full moon
Hmm.
as well in December, and it was very rainy and cloudy here where I am, so I couldn't actually see it.
Yeah.
But definitely, yeah, definitely those energies were really strong, and so
Hmm.
women are gonna, I should say, anyone that has or ever has had a monthly cycle is going to be
Hmm.
especially attuned to, or has the opportunity to become attuned
Yeah.
to cycles of the moon.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Not that
and
it's
even like
limited to that, but yeah.
right, right. But I think there's so much rich room there for reclaiming too, like even in the stories of the Bible and the Christian stories, like the Christ story is life, death, and resurrection. Like that is the cycles of the feminine, right? Like she's, if you look at Mother Earth, like she's constantly through the season. I mean, I live on the East Coast of the United States now, and there are four very distinct seasons, right? And right now we are in winter, so she's composting everything, right? Like everything is
Yeah.
going into the ground. It looks like everything is dying, and then it's going to be reborn in the spring. So, like, I think a lot of the, yeah, like so much of the Christian story actually, like, is actually right in sync with the cycles of nature, the cycles of the feminine. We just don't talk about it that way,
Right.
right? So I think there's a lot of beautiful reclaiming there too that can happen around like actually Jesus taught in like really sacred feminine ways, and the whole life death resurrection cycle is the mystery of the goddess, is the mysteries of the mother, right? So that's
Well,
one place where
yeah,
I like to go with my with the priestess energy as well, right?
right. And I love it that you're not kind of throwing away the Jesus story,
Yeah.
right?
Life
Like
death and
you're,
resurrection, that's the goddess, like
yeah,
that's her,
yeah. Because
right?
I
Yeah.
so so many, and there's no right or wrong here, but I know so
Hmm.
many people when they get really frustrated with what they've been taught or really frustrated with the church, it's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Right. Hmm.
But and sometimes that's necessary for people. So if
Yeah.
that's been your experience, anyone watching,
Hmm.
that's that's you do you. But there's also opportunity for those that want to
Right.
hold those things together. That not only can be done, it was probably the original way it was done.
Yes.
Like what we're doing now is the distortion.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Like if I, yeah, one time someone asked me what I meant when I said, well, Jesus had really sacred feminine ways of teaching and being. And someone said, what does that mean? And I was like, well, if you look at like Jesus's miracles, like he fed people, he touched people and healed them. Like he brought them into community. He reconciled people, right? Like these are things that actually women do every day. Like those
Right.
are like actually very traditionally feminine ways of ministering to people, right? Um, and Jesus did all of those, and like I kind of joke that like Jesus came along and did all that as a man, and everyone went, "Oh my God, new religion!" Right? Like this is incredible. But like these are actually really deeply sacredly feminine, right? Ways of healing and feeding and nurturing life and bringing people back into right relationship with each other and with the earth and with the divine, right? So I actually think that we understand Jesus better through a sacred feminine lens.
And if my theory ever catches on, where Jesus is also a trans woman and multi-gendered, and right, like we have
Hey,
lots of opportunity
there you
here. So,
go. I love that.
so you have something that's like super amazing sounding. Like when I first saw the name of it, I kind of I perked up, which is the Wild Wisdom Goddess Temple. So break this down for us. What does that mean,
Yeah.
and what is
Yeah,
this?
yeah. Great. So Wild Wisdom Goddess Temple. So basically what this is an opportunity for a women's circle that meets online. It's a 12-month journey. So there's 13 moons in a year. So I call it a 13 moon initiation into the divine feminine for women who have come from Christianity. So whether or not you're still practicing, right? We have some women who still go to church, others who don't. Some identify as witches or pagan, like it's all good, right? But we've come from this common root system, if you will, of Christian backgrounds, and we want to get to know the divine feminine because we haven't been introduced to her because she wasn't taught to us right when we were growing up. Um, so what happens in this journey over the course of 13 moons, 13 new moons, is that you'll meet 13 different faces of the goddess of the divine feminine, from both within and outside of the Christian tradition. So like I have La Guadalupe up on the wall here, right? Like we absolutely talk about her. We talk about Mother Mary. We talk about Mary Magdalene. Um, and we'll also meet like Yemoya and Kuan Yin and goddesses from different traditions all around the world, right? So the idea is that we're getting to know the sacred feminine because she has so many different faces and forms. And in each of those, it's like we're reclaiming a different kind of aspect of who we are, of the sacredness of ourselves, right? So the wild wisdom piece comes from wisdom is a biblical name, as you know, for the divine feminine, right? Wisdom or Sophia. Um, and the wild part is like I kind of imagine it as like if you picture a church inside a forest, right? The church allows like this much of the feminine to exist
Right.
within, like, right? Like, yeah, we can be there as women. There's absolutely wisdom to be found within the Christian tradition for those who want to continue to connect with that, right? And there's a whole wild woods out there that's a lot bigger, where many faces of the goddess live, right? So this is kind of my personal image, and I think it comes from Brigid too, right? As the goddess of the threshold. Um, that this wild wisdom temple is meant to be kind of that threshold space where you can be inside the church, you can wander out, you can see what's happening with like Diana out in the woods, and you can come back in and hang out with Mary Magdalene and Sophia, and you can right, like you can be in and out and everywhere in between because she is in all of those places, right?
That's yes, I love this like 13 different faces and
Mm-hmm.
probably more than that that people are bringing in.
Yeah.
And so if people want to become a part of the temple, like what can they expect, on a month to month or moon to moon basis?
Yeah, yeah. So each moon cycle, so we have two live gatherings. We meet live on Zoom at the new moon and the full moon. The new moon, we meet the goddess of the month. So like both kind of at a head level and a heart level. So I do a little bit of teaching about her, kind of an introduction. But then we also meet her in guided meditation so that you are sinking into your own intuition. And yeah, I use the word meet intentionally. Like you're not just learning about the goddess, right? Like she's gonna
Right.
speak to you, right? And we set intentions for the moon cycle at the new moon. And at the full moon, you get to really share like how is she inspiring you? Like, I've also this is a new thing. I've been bringing channeled messages from the goddess of the month to each full moon
Yeah.
circle. So that's like it. That's new this year. I wasn't expecting it.
Cool. Okay.
Um,
So it's new for you too.
New for me,
Yeah.
wasn't expecting it, but the goddesses are wanting to talk. So the
Okay.
full moon is about sharing your voice, right? So that's everyone in the circle, like, it's like an open mic. Like you get to kind of share anything creative or just how she's inspiring you. And we do a release ritual at the new moon, at the full moon, so we can, as the light of the moon starts to get dimmer, right, we can shed old energies that we don't need. Um, and in between, at the waxing moon, I offer some resources around like how you can explore Christian connections for those who want
Mm.
to with the goddess of the month. So like we're starting with Diana for the new moon in Sagittarius this month, December 2025. Um, and so we'll be talking about, hey, if we wanted to make some connections between the Roman goddess Diana and the Christian tradition, how would we do that,
Okay.
right? And some devotional practices. So, how you can invite Diana, for example, or any goddess, whoever the goddess of the month is, on a regular basis to become part of your spiritual team, right? Because some of these goddesses are going to really call to you. Like some will be like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." Others will be like, "I want to stay with you, and I want to really become part of your team and journey with you regularly," right?
Yeah, and that gives me the like little chills everywhere. So like I think those of you watching, if that also gives you the
Uh-huh.
wait a minute, right? So this might be really calling to you
Yeah.
um to who's going to be on your companion. And I love that because I think some people when they begin on this kind of path, they feel pressured to like have everyone on their
Yeah.
team, and that's just not practical for our human brains, right? Like
Right.
it's different ones are going to call in different ways, and some may be with you for a day, and some may be with you for a year, and some may be with you for a longer time or for the rest of your life. And
hmm
like that's all
hmm
good. That's all good. You just have to
Yeah.
learn how to discern it.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Right, because like she has really big energy. A
Yeah.
lot of these goddesses have really big energy, right? So yeah, like we just talked about Lilith for the moon cycle of Scorpio, right? Lilith's got big energy. Some people are going to be like, Lilith is my girl, and I need to, journey with her like all the time. And others will be like, okay, she's going to be there when I need her, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. And like different levels of your own human circle of friends, right? You have your inner
Yeah,
circle, the
exactly.
casual acquaintances, people that
Yes,
you can call on, but you don't have to talk to every day
right.
as well.
I love that. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Not
Your
the goddesses
girlfriends.
are
There's your
exactly
circle
the
of
same.
girlfriends.
Yes, exactly. So,
Yeah.
um, so this is so amazing. And I'm really excited about this, in part because I don't myself offer a lot of long-term
Mm-hmm.
things, right? For my people, my community. They all know that I tend to work in like 3 month
Hmm.
is 6 months would be really, really long, actually.
Uh-huh.
Partly just my own attention span and
Yeah.
just the way I've been kind of guided. So I love when amazing people like you are offering this little more sustained
Mm.
period to let
Hmm.
people really incubate and soak in and
Yeah.
figure it out, right? It can take time to unfold.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that there are so many different, like your offerings are like perfect for like, oh, I'm gonna get to know like during
yeah,
this 3 month period, right? Like this is what's gonna happen. And yeah, I just love that there are so many different containers, right? For
right.
people who are looking for a different experience, right?
Yeah, I feel
Mhm.
like we're in a cell phone commercial. There's a goddess for that. There's
Yeah.
a goddess for
And
that
there is.
somewhere.
And there is.
Yes,
That is not wrong.
I agree. And so yeah, so I'm putting the links below for everything,
Great.
so people can go and look and see if they're interested in joining the Wild Wisdom Goddess Temple.
Hmm.
And you are like for this holiday season,
Hmm.
if people sign up, if they're interested, feel called. And I think you do discovery calls with people too to see if it's a good fit.
Yeah, so right. So
Yeah.
at the, this link that's going to be posted, it's, if you're in, you can go ahead and join. There's also a link to book a complimentary consult call with me.
Yeah. And so if
Mhm.
someone's kind of if you're on the fence, you can definitely
Yeah.
talk with Kathleen directly. You don't
Hmm.
have to rely only on this
Absolutely.
video.
Yeah.
And you spoke about channeling earlier. So if
Hmm.
people sign up by December 31st, they get a little bonus. And this
Yeah.
is
Yeah. The bonus.
2025.
Yes. Yes. So the bonus holiday offer for 2025 is a 20-minute complimentary one-to-one channeling session with the Divine Feminine. So um, that's like really exciting. As I said,
That's so
channeling like
amazing.
this year has kind of emerged for me as a new way that she is wanting to speak. And typically the way that the goddess will come through is as Mother of Love is how she introduces
Mm.
herself. But that seems to be a name for she who has many names and faces. So like sometimes she'll be like, "Yes, I'm Mother of Love, and I'm also Mary. I'm going to talk to you as Mary today," or something like that.
Ooh. Oh, that
So
feels so special.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, yeah, she'll come through in the name and the face that you need, right?
Oh.
So yeah, super excited to welcome, those who are feeling called to it to step into this Wild Wisdom Temple. And I think that is, also the bonus channeling session is a super special opportunity for me to get to know you and for you to hear a direct message from the Divine Mother, right?
Oh, yes. And that's it's very sweet. Like I just the mother of love. I love it. And
I
so
know.
yeah. So by
Yeah.
December 31st, everyone. So you
Yeah.
you got a little while to make your choice. And of course, the temple is open
Hmm.
beyond
Yes.
that. Like you still sign up even if it's after
Yeah.
December 31st.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yay. Well, what how would you how is there anything you'd like to tell us to as final thoughts?
Hmm. Final thoughts. I'm just getting like holiday sort of sparkly happiness, and I want to like thank you, Katie, for this
Oh,
conversation. I feel like there's 2025 has been a year like no other that I've ever experienced, right?
yeah, it's been crazy.
It's been entirely transformative to use a word that's not, it's maybe a more positive spin on it, maybe. Um, yeah, and so that's just coming up for me as far as like if you're getting to the end of 2025 and like what just happened, right? And like
Yeah.
needing a space to integrate and needing a space to be held by the divine feminine and a space of sisterhood, right? Then perhaps this group could be calling to you, right?
Yes, I that sounds just perfect. Like what a great gift, everyone. If this is calling to you, like what a great gift to
Yeah.
yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah, to really be in and to have the gift to immerse yourself.
Yeah.
in this and immerse yourself twice. It's more than twice a month, every 2 weeks.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah,
twice a moon cycle are the
twice a moon
live
cycle.
gatherings, and of course we have a private online community where you can connect with the sisters in between then. So yeah.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited about this. And everyone, all
Yeah.
the links and stuff are below so you can check everything out. And thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you so much, Katie. It's been wonderful chatting
Thank
with you,
you.
and
You
happy
too.
holiday season to
Yes.
everyone.
Happy holidays, everyone.